Welcome to today's deep dive. So imagine you're walking through a massive echoing transit terminal, but somehow the boarding announcements are just crystal clear.
Yeah, it's one of those things you never really think about until it doesn't work.
Exactly. You probably don't even notice those white boxes mounted on the walls. But today, we're looking at the invisible engineering that shapes the atmosphere of our public spaces. We are looking under the hood of the QSC AD-S5T-WH AcousticDesign series Loudspeaker.
It is a really serious piece of commercial hardware. Physically, we are talking about a pair of 5¼ inch two-way white surface mount speakers.
Wait, okay, I saw these retail for around $700 for a pair of 5-inch speakers.
Yep, that is the going rate.
I mean, I can get a perfectly good Bluetooth speaker for $50. If I'm a restaurant owner outfitting this massive, humid patio, why wouldn't I just buy 20 cheap speakers and save thousands of dollars?
Well, to justify that commercial price tag, you really have to look past the plastic casing. You need to examine how this hardware physically controls sound waves to, manage a large environment.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because if I picture a typical, cheaper speaker, it acts a bit like a narrow flashlight beam.
Right, exactly.
If you stand dead center in that beam, you get the full audio picture. But the second you step slightly to the side, outside of that beam, you lose the high frequencies. Everything sounds muddy and muffled.
Yeah, and in a commercial space, you just can't have people walking in and out of audio blind spots as they move through a room. So QSC solves this with a technology they call DMT.
DMT, what is that?
It stands for Directivity Matched Transition. They basically engineer a very specific physical relationship between the internal components.
Okay.
So the speaker uses a 5¼ inch weather-treated paper woofer to handle the low sounds and a 1-inch silk dome tweeter for the high sounds. What's fascinating here is that DMT matches the directivity patterns of both those components, right at the crossover point where the frequencies meet.
Oh, I see. So the high pitches and the low bass notes are projecting outward in the exact same shape.
They are. The result is this perfectly coherent 115-degree conical coverage.
Wow.
Yeah, anyone walking through that room gets the exact same audio experience, which completely eliminates those jarring dead zones.
Right. Okay, so the audio cone is perfect. But a perfect audio cone doesn't mean much if the speaker shorts out the second, like a humid breeze rolls through a train platform.
Or a dusty warehouse, yeah.
Right. So what happens then? How does the casing protect the tech?
It really comes down to industrial ruggedness. These are built to exceed IP54 ratings.
Meaning dust and splash resistant.
Exactly. It's housed in a completely sealed ABS plastic enclosure with a powder-coated aluminum grill, so it won't rust and it won't let debris fry the internals.
That makes sense.
And on top of that, it pumps out a massive 116 decibels of peak volume, which is roughly as loud as a rock concert.
Yeah, really? From a 5-inch speaker?
Yeah. While staying perfectly clear because it can handle 100 watts of continuous RMS power.
Okay, so it gets incredibly loud, stays clear, and survives the elements. But commercial spaces are massive.
Oh, for sure.
Like if I try to wire 50 standard speakers together on a single line, the electrical resistance drops, and I just fry the amplifier. How do installers actually link all these together across a giant concourse without blowing the system?
That is where the commercial scaling comes in. Inside these units are 70 and 100-volt transformers. You can think of that transformer like a pressure valve.
Okay, a pressure valve.
Yeah, it allows installers to safely daisy-chain dozens of speakers onto a single wire run.
Which saves an unbelievable amount of time and cabling, I'd imagine.
Huge amounts.
Why?
And to speed up installation even more, they use these moisture-protected 4-pole Euroblock connectors.
Euroblock connectors.
Basically, instead of a technician standing on a ladder trying to solder wires in the rain, these connectors let them just snap the wires together for easy loop-through wiring. It takes seconds under a sealed cover.
That is super smart.
And finally, to ensure the speaker never sags or slips out of alignment from vibrations over time, it clicks into this award-winning locking mechanism called an X-Mount.
Man, it really makes you look at the ceiling differently. This isn't just about ohms and watts, you know? It's about the invisible infrastructure that dictates the vibe of the places we eat, shop, and travel.
It really highlights how heavily engineered our public environments are. They are purposefully designed to give you a seamless psychological experience without you ever having to notice the equipment doing the heavy lifting.
So next time you are walking through a busy concourse or dining in a restaurant, just pay attention to the background music.
Yeah, it's a totally different way to experience a room.
If the sound feels perfectly balanced no matter where you move, if you never step out of that flashlight beam of perfect audio, you're likely experiencing this exact level of acoustic engineering. It makes you wonder, right? How much of our emotional comfort in public spaces is being secretly curated by audio technology we never even look at?